Hi, welcome to the start of the CATEX 2017 exercise. If you're watching this, you are already registered to participate in this virtual email-based exercise. Last year in 2016, we had a number of players and feedback. We incorporated that feedback to make this year's exercise more streamlined, fewer injects, more video, fast action, and really design it for the beginners to this process that we are using to share sensitive operational information to expedite power and supply chain restoration at the regional level on the eastern half of the United States. So what is CATEX? The history of CATEX goes back to 2013 when multiple states on the East Coast, working with FEMA and a regional catastrophic planning grant, had a project that was looking at ways to involve the private sector in a sustainment effort, but really to solve operational issues when it comes to regional catastrophic planning. As a result, this gave birth to a working group and a number of relationships and developed the first email-based virtual exercise that brought together the electric sector in a number of states and urban areas to focus on how do we expedite power restoration. This evolved into the Fleet Response Working Group, which evolved into developing operational products and processes, and it was really designed to become an exercise to solve problems, but became a tremendous education and operational tool at the same time. CATEX educates all of its participants to private sector processes that are really focused on expediting information sharing to solve fleet movement issues in the supply chain and electric sector. What are some of the benefits? This year, CATEX is focusing on 3 levels of players. The beginner level, which we have a lot of people new to the process. They're newly elected officials in new government. They're new in the private and public sector. They've never heard of this before. They're coming in for the first time, as many of you are. This is a beginner level exercise where we introduce a couple of processes and 3 tools. These are the exact same tools we would use next week if a regional disaster struck and we wanted to get 30 states and 100 companies on the same page at the same time. It's pretty amazing. So this exercise develops a unity of effort. It focuses on a regional common operating picture for weather, transportation, and other private sector information. It fosters this information sharing concept and creates operational information sharing between private sector and government. What are the results? The big one is faster information sharing, which reduces delays in the private sector fleet movements. This saves time and lives and does everybody a lot of good. It expedites decision-making through a data-driven decision-making process that organizes data, provides better apps and tools, and it speeds the response. It increases regional coordination and a common operating picture on common incidents. Not everything, but on those things that repeatedly happen over and over and over again. And it enhances business, community, and economic resilience. People bounce back faster when the power gets on quicker. So CATEX has certain objectives, pieces, and components, and we're going to focus on the left half of the screen, which is really the things we're going to test, or some processes and some tools. But for those of you that are exercise aficionados, there's a big, strong planning effort going on behind this between the electric sector, the telecom, food, fuel, retail, finance sectors, transportation, and DHS infrastructure protection, FEMA at the headquarters and regional levels. There's a lot going on behind the curtain, but you don't need to know all that. But for those of you that want to know, there's been a long history of how we develop our operational objectives, and this is a slide that'll give all that to you at a single glance. So what's going to be your player experience? Well, CATEX provides 6 Inject emails. The first one has you going into the SICE, which you should have created your own account before you started playing. The account creation process uses an identity vetting and validation process, which allows you to participate in the sensitive information sharing environment. Once that's taken care of, you're eligible to play, and you'll be able to access the SICE dashboard, where we launch into the 3 tools we're really going to be looking to exercise during this. And it's the same 3 tools we use during regional events on the East Coast. The first one is a daily disaster dashboard, where we get a common operating picture on weather, other transportation, state declarations, and things like that. Fantastic capability. The next one is Storm Central. It's a website that aggregates very quickly state declarations, waivers, and guidance during emergencies for those states that are impacted by a storm, disaster, or some type of accident. And lastly, a new app called Roads Central. This is going to be a web portal that allows you access to both regional, national, and personal transportation information products developed by third-party assets, states, federal government. So what's the process for the beginner? Well, the first thing you do is step 1 is you're registered. From that, you should have got an email that shows you some videos on how to create your SICE account to access the dashboard. The second step is you'll get a read-ahead email, which you should have gotten. The read-aheads will then link you into a series of web pages and micro-feedback surveys that'll give us feedback on how do we educate players to this process, the terminology, the processes, the standards, the things we use to develop this. And lastly, at the end of the read-ahead, you'll have a summary page that summarizes all the read-aheads in one simple page. Once play starts, it'll start with an email, which is this one. So this helps you understand, okay, we're started now, look for some emails coming at you. You want to check your email filters, your spam filters, so forth, if you don't get it. The injects basically come in the form of an email. The email links you to a website, you can take action, and a survey as well. And at the end, we'll end the exercise help desk today for 3 o'clock, but the exercise can be done virtually through Sunday at midnight. So what's the email inject process? In every inject email, you'll see 2 links. One says go to inject number 1 or 1.1 or 2.0, and that takes you to a website, the Inject webpage. On there's a lot of background information on the right, and then there's a picture of what we're going to exercise, and you'll get a direct link to get started right away. Once you're done doing the action, come back to this email, and in the second link, click on that for your player feedback. The feedback happens really in less than 3 minutes. It's very quick, and we've streamlined it from last year. People said too many emails, takes too long. Man, we've cut that from 80 emails to 6. You'll see, we've used technology to help us educate you in the process. I think you'll like it, but we'd love to know your feedback. So what are the Injects testing? Well, Inject 1 is testing how to access and navigate the site's dashboard and the daily disaster dashboard. Why? This is what we use to get multiple states and sectors on the same page, a common operating picture for weather and related data from states for large-scale events. The next several injects are going to look at testing various tools and processes for the accomplishing of various purposes. I won't go through all of them here, but you can download this slide deck and take a look at them. But each one of these injects has been designed to test a specific tool that was developed by the private sector and the states to solve specific operational issues. So the problem drove the creation of the solution. Pretty amazing. And it's worked extremely well. What if you need help? Well, during the hours of 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. today, we'll have live support that's basically done through a phone call and a webinar chat support. We'll give you the information in a minute. If your play goes beyond today at 3 o'clock, no problem. You can play from anywhere, anytime, night or day, up through Sunday at midnight. And we'll have virtual email support via an email address listed here that you can use anytime, night or day, and people will be watching the email and help you get answers to your questions. So if you want to know what information numbers are, it's posted here on the screen. There's the live support, the phone number for a conference bridge. We'll have a live webinar up from 11 a.m. to 3, and of course there's the email or for virtual support. If you need CATEX resources, you need to access your SICE account in order to participate. Remember, you have to create one, so if you don't know how to do that, go to siceusa.org and create your account. If you need video instructions to help you create that account, here's the link there. And if you need a read-ahead summary, if you want to get refreshed on some of the read-aheads, here's the summary page for all the read-aheads. So that's it, folks. We hope you enjoy the CATEX 2017 exercise, a big improvement from CATEX 2016. And again, the entire purpose here is to educate you into the process. The electric sector, food, fuel, telecom, finance, water, transportation sectors have been working on for over 3 years with the states. How to expedite power and supply chain restoration after disasters through targeted, very fast information sharing solutions developed by the private sector. Thank you. We appreciate your time, and we hope you enjoy the exercise.